Our next guest is a very funny comedian you know from shows like Those Who Can't. He is currently on his It's Not a Tour, It's the Job tour, and his latest stand-up special, Dirt Nap, is on sale now. Let's take a look.
Like my dad will still have a steak with a glass of milk. Yeah. Are you trying to put it back together inside of you? What's... Some sort of culinary ship in a bottle you're trying to build down there? Hey, I got an idea. Let's get your old racing leathers on. You can cosplay the whole thing. How about that?
Please welcome to the show, Kyle Kinane, everybody. Kyle.
Thanks for having me. You guys swear a lot more.
We do. We realized early on no one was paying attention.
I kind of picked that up.
Yeah. It's very jarring. When I even went backstage to say hello, when I first walked in, I assumed you were not there yet because your beard, your very iconic beard, is off.
Yeah, I'm between looks. Every 3 or 4 years, I got to shave just to make sure I still have the same jawline as a dachshund. So that's still nothing going on. Still just top teeth and an Adam's apple. All right, great.
Dirt Nap is a unique title for a stand-up special.
Yeah.
And it's also the name of your cat.
Yeah. R.I.P. Lil Dirty. She's up there in heaven now. It was a stray cat that was living in the yard of this house we moved into. And, you can't really name a stray cat, so it went through some iterations. At first, we were calling it Helen. So we thought it was blind and deaf. So my girlfriend named it that, so you're not mad at me, you're mad at her. And then I was calling it Dirt Nap on account of, it would just sleep in the dirt, and it looked deceased, like, most of the time.
And how many, so it seemed like you maybe didn't get a lot of good years with Dirt Nap.
We got 3 great years, I'll tell you.
That's
three
pretty
great
good.
years. We found it was a 16-year-old cat from it. It was a 16-year-old stray cat that we're like, all right, we're going to give this thing the best sunset we can give it.
Well, that's fantastic you did that.
Yeah. We love that little crab apple hanging out there.
You're on the road all the time, but you recently got a house in the burbs. You're living in the Portland suburbs. There you go. Good.
No, that's in Chicago burbs. I wear this hat because you're from Chicago? Where? I'm like, out where the tornadoes start. So that's why I include yeah, I'm living easy now, man.
Do you like burb living?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think I've never owned a home before in my life, and so I always said I was gonna rent forever, and then now there's a freedom in renting that I know it's an issue, but now if I clog my toilet, it's my toilet.
Yeah.
And there was a nice power shift when someone you referred to as a lord, you have to call to come unclog a toilet. Yeah. Excuse me, my liege, can you lay down your scepter? Domino's was having a 2-for-1 last night. I really bricked this bitch out, so you might want to roll the sleeves up on that golden robe.
This is very sweet. I think it's true of a lot of people in comedy. You usually have 1 or 2 parents who are into comedy, and your mom would let you stay up late, would watch Carson with you.
Yeah, I would watch Johnny Carson as a little kid, which my kindergarten teacher thought was irresponsible parenting. Well, because
I will say it's pretty late at night for a kindergartner.
Well, because you had kindergarten that started in the morning and one that started in the afternoon. I was the one that started in the afternoon. My mom's a night owl, so she's like, well, I'm watching Johnny Carson. I'm up. My kid may as well be up watching Johnny Carson with me. And so I would watch, and I didn't even know what stand-up was. You'd have bands or you'd have actors that were on it, but then you just have one person show up at the end and just talk. And I'm like, that's the job? I'll just do that. I won't even worry about the TVs or the movies or learning instruments. I'll just do the talking part, and then it'll be cool.
But then you did do the instrument part for a little bit. You actually have a similar trajectory to our band leader, Fred Armisen, was in a band called Trenchmouth. He was a drummer for them. And then he thought music was going to be his thing. He found his way into comedy. You were in a punk band as well.
Yeah. Grand Marquis. Shout out to any 5 people out there, for the guys who were in the band watching this, and my sister who came to the shows. Thank you. Yeah, it was, it was just like that's what you did. Nobody had any futures. You're from the suburbs. You're going to burn out. Let's be in a band. And then like stand-up comedy came around like, oh, I don't have to load any gear or organize, find out what 3 other drunks are going to do this weekend. Like, oh, I'll just do the stand-up thing.
Do you love, I would imagine having been in a band, nothing is better than doing a stand-up show where you go do your sound check and it's literally 30 seconds.
Yeah. Oh, every sound guy at every venue loves stand-up. I was misinterpreting it as like, oh, the people that work at the venue really like my comedy. They're like, no, they just like that they don't have to sound check 5 hours before the show and deal with the temperaments of 6 different people in a crew. Like, well, we love your act. Like, funny? No, you're just easy to work with. That's all. We don't care. Your humor's not for me, but just one microphone, it's on. I go to take a nap. It's fine. All right.
Do you have early joke? There's a lovely craft to a lot of the stuff you do, but I think we always see the stuff that works. And early comedy, you have stuff that you put a lot of heart into, but then it fails with the audience.
Yeah, I mean, those are the best jokes, though.
Yeah, you got one that.
I mean, we all saw the baking pan sketch. You guys were having fun, right?
Yeah.
I can tell you guys were having a blast.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun. We're going to talk about.
Who cares about them?
Yeah,
you guys had fun.
I don't know who's going to die first, let's try, but we're going to talk about it at the funeral.
Well, that's okay. That was the joke. I was at a wake, which is, always you're just thinking comedy at a wake. And I was in, like funeral homes have break rooms in them. There's like where you get coffee and like.
Yeah, right. Because people are still working.
Yeah, I've been grieving for 4 hours. Union rules. I gotta get a smoke and a coffee. So there's like that. I was in that area, and then funeral homes will like businesses sponsor Little League teams.
Sure.
And always put the pictures out. And so funeral home sponsored a Little League team, and they had all the pictures of the different Little League teams up with the name of the funeral home on the jerseys. And I wrote it down, like, there's got to be something funny. And then I realized, so the joke was that my grandfather and my father both served in the military. I did not serve in the military, but I was on a Little League team sponsored by a funeral home. So I do know the honor involved in wearing a uniform that thousands of people have died for. And it, like, okay, you guys are laughing now, but you should have checked in with me 20 years ago.
Did we switch out the audiences after the pan sketch?
But I'm like, this one's great. And people are like, boo, you weren't there. I'm like, no, I wasn't. That was the point of the joke. I'm like, well, whatever.
Congratulations. The 8th special. That's really impressive. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for being here, Kyle. Such an honor.
Yeah.
Kyle Kinane, everybody. Dirt Nap is available on 800-Pound Gorilla. For tour info, go to KyleKinane.com. We'll be right back.